What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'? We back with another reaction. What's good? Happy Friday, everybody. What's up, what's up, what's up? All right, man, so Deleted is back with another video. Shout out to him as always, man. The homie pulled up in my in the last stream we did where we talked about Jay-Z a little bit. And honestly, man, I don't really know where this is going. I think it's kind of it quieted down real quick. What up, Satanic Goku? What up, pros? Let me know when y'all pull up to the chat too, man. Say what's up. Double tap that screen, hit the like button. I feel like it's not that it's died down, because I know people are still talking about it, but it doesn't seem like it's the same as it was when Diddy got kind of like, when everything went down with Diddy. But I guess that was because they raided his house. But anyway, this video is titled "The Evidence They Refuse to Show You." What's up, Jessica? What up, Smokey? What up, Rebirth? It's over for the Jiggler. Wow. Y'all bugging. Y'all calling him the Jiggler now? Y'all bugging. All right. So my whole standpoint on this whole thing has been, let's wait till the evidence comes out. We're not gonna condemn Jay. I think there's a lot of evidence that could point to him being guilty, and then also evidence that could point to him not being guilty. But at the end of the day, we gotta wait till the evidence comes out, gang. We gotta wait till the evidence comes. I don't know. What up, Yayo? What up, Richard Sippy? Not the Jiggler. Y'all called him Jiggler. I've never heard that before in my life. Ash, what up? With the 23-month re-up, almost 2 years. What's up? Shout out to whoever gifted me a membership. Make sure y'all smash that like button. I think it was Cuzzo Ed, man. Why? Cousin Eddie, Cuzzo Ed. All right, man. So let's go ahead and get into this video. It's about 24 minutes long. I'm excited. Let's see what, because he always presents a totally different perspective, maybe some stuff that I didn't see, and he does actually seem to put some sort of I know it's all satire, but he definitely puts a little bit of journalistic touch on it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, so Jay-Z found himself in a crazy situation. He was recently
What up,
accused
2K?
of doing some strange things with a cupcake. Nah, not a real cupcake. If you're lost and not a part of the other side of YouTube, let me go ahead and give you some context of what cupcake means. It's a term that one of the most pathetic YouTubers to ever exist coined, because when he was caught up meeting with someone that's not age appropriate, he lied and said he was trying to buy cupcakes. I guess that baby Beluga just really wanted some cupcakes. So this accusation is actually a lawsuit, was filed by a man named
The cupcake thing is real. Who is this dude? Ew. Man, I don't even want to know, bro. This is attorney Busby, right? I don't even want to know who that was.
Accusation is actually a lawsuit, was filed by a man named Tony Busby. Remember him because we will later touch back on that. Pause. Okay. Jay-Z, billionaire rap mogul, is now tangled in allegations that reads like the plot of a twisted crime drama. But let's really unpack the nightmare. Let's unpack it, because I honestly don't buy into a lot of things without solid proof. Right. I need the evidence. I need the facts. The evidence they refuse to show or talk about in the media when it comes to this lawsuit is unsettling. The way they're refusing to drop receipts is low-key sketchy as hell. But
and also the other piece, what up, T-Ski? The other piece is whenever someone can file anonymously, I think that kind of muddies it doesn't kind of, it definitely muddies the water. We talked about this before, where I totally understand why you may not want to disclose your identity, because you can clearly get touched. But it adds a bit of validity to your case too when you just go under your name.
Hold up, we'll get into that later, right after we break down what's exactly going on. And before I tap in, remember this in mind.
Hold up.
The year is 2000, where rap was not even...
Hold up, I forgot to hit the like button. Hit that like button.
Even the leading genre at the time. It was a mere category at an award show, and sometimes they were able to battle for Album of the Year.
The 2000 MTV Video Music Awards with hosts Sean and Marlon Wayans are up next.
Performances by Eminem, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Blink-182, Nelly, Rage Against the Machine, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sisqó, Janet Jackson, and Christina Aguilera.
They didn't have control like they do now, and this is when labels in Hollywood had full authority of anyone and everybody. Diddy and Jay-Z were not the big moguls they are today.
Exactly.
They
No,
were
they
celebrities, yes. Were they powerful? Not even close.
Not even
Not
like
in the
they are
year
now.
2000. Now, maybe powerful in the streets, maybe powerful in inner circles and, things like that, but they weren't moving nothing like that in Hollywood. They
Right.
weren't. Jay-Z's The Blueprint album haven't even dropped yet. And Diddy was in
The Blueprint dropping on September 11th is crazy. That's crazy work.
They weren't. Jay-Z's The Blueprint album haven't even dropped yet. And Diddy was in the midst of rebranding Bad Boy. Mind you, Diddy was hot. And I don't mean the kind of hot that you guys probably are used to saying, like somewhat hot, like they're on top. I'm talking about hot as in the feds was watching. Diddy was awaiting trial for his 1999 Club New York shooting. The trial began on January 29th, 2001. And the trial ended March 16th, 2001. Besides all of that, the point I'm trying to make is that Diddy had eyes on him during the time this alleged assault took place. We got to take that in consideration because the feds is watching. So he was in rebrand mode with him changing his name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy. And that's just for some context. All right, I'm going to try to tell this like a story. We're going to try to read this like it's story time.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's reading Rainbow,
Let's do that.
without the rainbow. We don't want the rainbow. Unless it's Skittles. Skittles is pretty good.
Yo, Skittles. Hey, bro, Skittles are the worst candy of all time. They get stuck in your teeth. I hate them. I'd rather have a Starburst.
Starburst too. Starburst is good. I like
Hey,
chocolate.
hey, hey, hey! Let's go delete it. We on the same side now, bro.
I'm a chocolate guy. It's the year 2000.
I hate
and
chocolate.
The MTV VMAs were the hottest ticket in the city. Outside the glitter in the glow of Radio City Music Hall, a 13-year-old girl that we will call Jane Doe is plotting her way into the after-party scene. No ticket, no connections, just hope. She's wandering among the parked limousines, asking drivers if anyone can get her in. And then one driver, let's call him Mr. Predatory Opportunist, I guess, steps up with a grin and a deal. He tells her, I'm driving Diddy. There's a party later, and trust me, you're exactly his type. Yeah, let that sink in.
Yeah. We caught that too. We originally caught that too. We caught that the first time when he said you're his type. I think maybe that's one of those when you're talking to yourself, or it's like one of those mental conversations you have. I can't imagine him actually saying that out loud, like, "Oh yeah, you're Diddy's type. Yeah, why don't you wait around?" Probably would have been pretty creepy, and you probably would have dipped, unless I don't know. I don't know what the child's intentions were, but I think that's definitely probably one of those conversations he was having with himself.
Man knows her age, and he still sets the trap, allegedly. She doesn't see the red flags, though. She just hears Diddy and thinks she's made it. The driver promises to pick her up after dropping off his VIPs, and Jane, desperate to be a part of the scene, agrees. True to his word, the driver returns and takes her to a sprawling mansion. U-shaped driveway, glitzy cars parked out front, the whole 9 yards. When they arrive, she was handed a piece of paper, a non-disclosure agreement. Imagine this, a 13-year-old girl being coerced into signing away her silence before she can even step inside. But she's...
Yeah. Now let's also think about that too, right? A 13-year-old signing an NDA. How do you hold that up in court? What up, Mafia? She signed an NDA, Judge. Judge, she signed an NDA. You idiot, she's 13. Why is she signing an NDA? What the? Huh?
Too young and too eager to grasp the gravity of what's even happening. So she signs and walks in and is greeted by chaos. Celebrities are everywhere, booze flowing like a waterfall and drugs casually sprinkled into the mix like the party favors. The scene is straight out of a Hollywood fever dream, the way it's described.
Eyes wide shut.
Jane mingles, trying to blend in when someone hands her a drink. She takes a sip, and almost instantly the world starts spinning. Her head's pounding, her vision's blurry, and she's sinking fast. Feeling weak and disoriented, she stumbles into a bedroom to lie down. And there's no rest for the wicked. This is where the nightmare truly begins. Moments later, the door opens and in walks Diddy, Jay-Z, and an unnamed female celebrity.
I did kind of want to know who that unnamed female celebrity was. One thing I said too, like if you're at this party and you're 13 and you've never had a sip of alcohol, either that too, I think you would probably still be disoriented no matter what, unless that's just the kind of life you live in and you've been drinking alcohol. But the whole NDA thing already doesn't add up to me. Once we played it out like a story, it kind of doesn't make sense why you would have a 13-year-old sign an NDA. That doesn't make any sense.
Jane is vulnerable, defenseless. Diddy, in all his chaotic glory, reportedly starts taunting her, yelling, "You ready to party?" as he shakes her. He allegedly does this as if what's about to happen is just another night of fun. Jay-Z allegedly takes the lead, stripping away whatever shred of safety she thought she had left. The details are so gruesome.
Yeah.
A horror story no one should ever have to endure.
No.
So I won't get into details of what happened. But then right after Jay-Z, Diddy joins next. While the female celebrity, someone Jane might have looked up to once, stand there and watches, in silent and complicit. Jane is trapped, but somewhere in the haze, she finds this spark of resistance. She fights back, hitting Diddy hard enough to startle him. It's enough of a distraction for her to escape.
It's sometimes you need to just, I read this entire thing. Now, again, I'm not gonna be the guy that goes against the victim that says it didn't happen. So let me not say that, right? I think that the way that the story plays out from the way that it was written or the way that it was repeated, I don't even want to say that because I don't want to go against the victim saying that didn't happen. I just think that it sounds a little, not far-fetched, but it sounds a little off that it would happen that way, and you would hit him and then be able to get out, make it out of the house and run out and all of that, unless they're all just high out of their minds and something like that. But it sounds strange to say the least.
Grabs her clothes, bolts out the room, and runs through the party half dressed, terrified and humiliated. And the worst part, no one helps her. Now,
I was just about to say that, and I'm gonna stop pausing, but I was just about to say that even if I'm partying, right, and I'm at a party and it's going crazy and whatever, you see a 13-year-old girl running out half naked, you be like, what is going on? Hey, are you okay? What is going on? Right? Everybody just, always is a half-naked 13-year-old girl running through here. Hey, what's up? You good over there? You good? That's crazy as hell. What's going on at this party?
one person steps in, they just watch, allegedly. Barefoot and trembling, Jane finally makes it to a nearby gas station. A clerk sees her a mess of tears and desperation and hands her a phone. She calls her dad, choking out the words, "I snuck out, please come get me." Her father arrives, furious and heartbroken, but the damage is already done. This night will haunt Jane for the rest of her life. And now, over 2 decades later, she's stepping forward to hold her alleged abusers accountable.
Other thought, as a father, I'm not really sure why there wasn't an immediate intervention.
Now, this is all alleged. I just wanted to paint the story for us to view of what Jane Doe is basically saying that allegedly happened. Enter Tony Busby, the attorney who's behind the accusations. Tony wasn't playing around. He went full throttle, declaring, "Screw it, I'm suing everybody." His rise to fame started when Diddy faced a storm of legal troubles. Tony made it his mission to hunt down anyone who wronged his clients
The hotline,
and slap Diddy with them lawsuits. I mean, he made it a mission after the 40 mil was paid to Cassie, if you want to be real. But, I mean, he still did it. He even hinted that more names would be added to the pile. And this part right here is really, really important for y'all to remember. I want you guys to really focus on this particular part. But this lawsuit that's going on right now was already filed against Diddy before.
And he was
but
added
the old
later.
lawsuit left out Jay-Z's name in the original documents. So make sure you guys remember that. Fast forward, and surprise, surprise, the next name on his list was Jay-Z. He files a civil civil lawsuit in New York naming Diddy and Jay-Z as co-defendants. The allegations are explosive, painting a picture of betrayal, power, exploitation, and cupcakes. Before going public, Tony legally informed Jay-Z about the claims, essentially saying, look, we don't have to drag this out, just pay my client.
And that's why it was called a shakedown, right? That's why it was called a shakedown, because, you know, to the right person, or not to the right person, to a person who just doesn't want any of this, bro, let's just settle this now. Let's just get, I don't want my family to hear about this. I don't want my wife to hear about this. I don't want my kids to know about this. I don't want the public to know about this. And so when you take that into account, right? When you take that into account, that he denied that. He denied, I don't want this to come out at all. He denied that and said, I'm not paying you anything. I didn't do nothing. Kind of emboldens his innocence on his end, right? Where he looks very innocent by saying, put it out, prove it. Put it out, prove it. I don't know.
And it all goes away. But Jay-Z, he's not taking this lying down. He ain't with it. He ain't bending over for nobody. He fires back immediately, calling the lawsuit a money grab and accusing Bugsby of blackmail. Jay-Z argues, if these accusations were real, why isn't this a criminal case? Why go for money instead of justice? He basically wanted to know, why you filing a civil suit trying to come from my bag? Because if I really did it, why wouldn't you press charges and take this to a criminal justice courtroom?
That too.
And here's where things get even darker. Busby, I don't even know if I'm saying his name. Is it Bugsby or Busby?
Busby.
Am I saying this shit right? Busby claims Jay-Z's team started playing dirty, sending people to investigate Jane and intimidate her. Calls, visits, vile threats. It's like a real life chess game where the stakes are someone's life and dignity.
Facts.
People were reportedly sent to watch Tony and dig up dirt on him and his client. Tony was unfazed though. Who do you think you're intimidating? He shot back. Then the plaintiff called Tony, claiming she was being investigated too. For Tony, this was the last straw. So Tony doesn't back down. He goes public, dragging Jay-Z's name through the mud, and now the court of public opinion is in session. Social media erupts. Fans are divided.
Yeah.
Is Jay-Z the predator Busby points him to be? Or is this just a calculated smear campaign to tarnish this guy's legacy? I do want to highlight that when Tony threatened to out this whole scandal, Jay-Z's response was to do it. He literally said, do it. You're not getting a dime from me. The battle lines were drawn. Tony and the plaintiff announced the lawsuit, and Jay-Z doubled down, refusing to get blackmailed. I mean, Jay-Z's even saying that he had to sit his daughter down with his wife and explain to her how sick individuals come after you for money, and they will literally tarnish your name and your image just for a bag. Now, let's make sure we get one thing straight. This is a civil trial, not a criminal one.
Right.
If it were a criminal trial, the police would have to dig into evidence from 24 years ago, which is pretty thin by now.
Right.
They turned to witnesses like the limo driver, the gas station clerk, and the unnamed female celebrity.
Yeah.
The driver and the clerk didn't see the alleged incident, but could provide
They can just give you pieces to the puzzle. They can't really help you solve the puzzle, right? They can't really help you solve the puzzle, and that's why it's not a criminal case. Well, that's why it seems that it's not a criminal case, because they may not be able to actually prove it in court. So the best we can hope for is to take a W monetarily, right? Take a monetary W.
context. And the real wild card, the female celebrity. If she corroborates.
Okay, inflation. We definitely not calling him a guy, bro. Let's not do that. Inflation. Look, we definitely not calling him a god. Nobody looks at Jay-Z as a god, or that he can't even do something like this. We're just simply looking at both sides of the story. I've looked at this from both sides of the story of the victim, and I'm also hearing Jay-Z's perspective as well. So I definitely understand that all people can do wrong, and no one is above the law.
the claims, Jay-Z and Diddy could be in hot water. So here's the thing about civil trials. Witnesses don't have to say a word. Why go against someone with Jay-Z's resources and power?
Right.
And with Jay-Z's elite legal team, the odds of losing are high. So why sue if you're likely to lose? It boils down to reputation. Whether Jay-Z is guilty or not, the only real leverage in these cases is public perception. A deposition could force Jay-Z to answer uncomfortable questions, the kind that can stain reputations forever. This is why high-profile figures often settle, but Jay-Z knows the game. If he pays once, he risks opening the floodgates for more lawsuits.
Yeah, that too.
So he's
But that
fighting
still don't
back,
mean he's
betting
innocent.
his reputation on the court's outcome. For now, it's a high-stakes waiting game to see how this saga unfolds. His reputation is already bleeding. The headlines are relentless, the memes are brutal, and the whispers about what really happens behind the velvet ropes of fame are louder than ever. Whether he's guilty or not, the damage is done. So here we are, watching a billionaire fight to protect his empire while a survivor fights to reclaim her voice. At this point, it's a tale as old as time. Power corrupts, and when the mighty fall, they crash hard. And the truth, it's out there somewhere, buried beneath the lawsuits, the PR statements, and the alleged accusations. But until it comes to light, the story will only get darker. At this point, to keep it lit, you guys are just asking for mass incarceration of black artists. Over the years, I've never seen so many people wanting and yearning for people to be evil. Gossip, conspiracy theories.
You know what, man? I've definitely looked at that too. I've definitely looked at that too. But the problem is the issue with some of that is a lot of times it's been true, right? Like it's not like there's been this case of, essay going on or, weird stuff happening with artists and it hasn't been true. So I think one of the things that I've said is that power has taken over people's minds. Power has taken over these artists' minds and made them believe that they are above like normal, basic like morals. And not even that you got to be a saint, but just basic morals because you are rich, because you're powerful, and that's all people. That's not just black people too. But in the black community, we've definitely seen some of our heroes fall. And I wish it wasn't true, but the things that they've been accused of have been true a lot of times. So not all the times, but a lot of times.
Being guilty by association, that's all it takes for people to root for the demise of someone's legacy. I have yet to see anyone provide facts. I came across a couple of threads online and I started to do my own research. And according to some of the timestamps, everything seems a bit off. So the MTV VMAs 2000 started at 8 p.m. Eastern. The show lasted 3 hours and 10 minutes. Wrapping up exactly around 11 p.m. Assuming the after party kicks off right around the time at 11 p.m., we'll use that as our starting point. According to Jane Doe's original statement, she didn't have tickets to the event, so she stayed outside watching the show on the Jumbotron. It's unclear whether she stayed to watch the entire show, but Jane Doe later mentioned that she began searching for ways to get into an after party, approaching limousines in the process. Now, remember the part I told you guys to remember, that this lawsuit was filed twice, but with changes. In the original claim, which did not include Jay-Z's name, Jane Doe stated that the driver instructed her to return to that spot at 9:30 p.m. However, the award show started at 8 p.m. and didn't end until 11 p.m. By 9:30 p.m., the show was still in full swing with everyone inside the venue. Now, in the updated lawsuit that included Jay-Z's name, Tony B made sure to remove the driver's original claim about meeting at 9:30 p.m. It seems this was done knowing the timeline wouldn't add up, as all the celebrities were still inside the venue attending the award show at that time. How ironic. Diddy attended
why
an
make
after
that
party.
revision? Why make that revision? It's almost like and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. So I always divert to the experts on stuff like that. Where if you're a lawyer, can you edit your suit? Or once it's filed, it's done, put away. You can't touch it again, right? Make sure you guys hit that like button too, man. We got almost 200 million viewers and less than 30 likes. Ooh, just real quick, double tap the screen. Let's get up to 100 likes if you guys don't mind. So now, if you want to add a defendant to your lawsuit, then are you able to make a change? Seems like a loophole. But I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. So I'm not speaking that in as fact or anything. I'm just asking a question.
That night at Twirl, it was said that that after party was hosted by NSYNC, but Jay-Z was not seen at that event. In fact, both were reportedly at two different nightclubs during the time Jane Doe claimed she was at the house party she described. It's important to point out that the after party Jay-Z attended wasn't at a house. It was at a nightclub in downtown Manhattan, hosted by Eminem and Dr. Dre. The venue didn't have a driveway or a living room as Jane Doe described, and it was most likely an invite-only event. An NSYNC blog website confirms that Diddy and Aaliyah were not at the same after party as Jay-Z. It states, party guests included Destiny's Child, Marlon Wayans, Shawn Wayans, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Mark Wahlberg, Blink-182, Britney, Busta,
Shout out Lola,
Dupri,
appreciate you.
Usher, Aaliyah, all the MTV VJs, Darren Henson, Pink, Wade Robinson, Johnny Wright, Nelly, Puffy, Jennifer Lopez, and many, many more. And as you can see, there was no mention of Jay-Z being at that party with them. I seen people even having the weird theory about Aaliyah being the woman who watched, and that's why she passed away the following year. Aaliyah didn't go to the Lotus nightclub, and she was also with her brother Rashad that night, who are both very close. They attended the Twirl after party together, which is confirmed by the pic references and again the NSYNC blog website. I really hate y'all motherfuckers, I ain't gonna hold. Y'all get on my nerves with these theories, man. I mean, the way you think you're helping Aaliyah.
The thing is, the theories pick up steam so quickly that they sometimes end up taking over the truth when all it takes is a little bit of research. And that's why we need people who do the research and have that journalistic kind of like viewpoint to things where you have to have sources and facts.
It's cruel as hell to her family and friends. All this conspiracy shit because of a has-been that's mad she didn't get her shine. She all of a sudden wants to make conspiracy theories about everyone, and y'all eat that shit up. With her being semi-right about Diddy, that doesn't mean shit. You throwing craps all day, eventually you're gonna hit the jackpot. You're gonna hit the 7-Eleven eventually, right? It's crazy because you act like these people have so much pull to destroy other celebrities, but then why didn't they destroy Jaguar's dumbass? A Jay-Z Instagram fan page posted a pic of Jay-Z in 2022 stating he was at the Lotus nightclub as well, with a recent comment from someone claiming they were a photographer at the event. They also stated that they didn't witness Jay-Z around Diddy at all. So one commenter says, because after hour parties don't go all night long, because he did go from one party to the next, because people didn't already say that Diddy parties are still going at 7 a.m. He didn't. I was working for a prominent paper and I did the write-up for that night. He never went to an after party, and Diddy didn't host a party that night. They were at a Manhattan club called Lotus that night. Diddy was in a private section. Jay-Z was never in his section, nor were they hanging out. Diddy later was spotted entering his New York townhome with Jennifer Lopez at 3 a.m. alone. We ran the photos. In fact, you can Google them. There's zero truth to this bullshit story, and it's easily proven, thankfully, which is why he's calling out the accuser. Also, Lotus nightclub had the off-duty police officers as bouncers, and they never let in a 13-year-old girl, nor would they. She claimed it was a party at his house, but he didn't have a mansion back in 2000. Diddy lived in an exclusive townhouse on Park Avenue in New York City that he bought in 1998. Everything about her story so far doesn't line up. She said a party at Diddy's mansion. Well, he had a townhouse. She said after party at a house, the after party was at a club, and then everyone went their separate ways. And Diddy was photographed entering his townhouse with J-Lo
at
after
3 a.m.
leaving Lotus nightclub.
Now, you'd have to just say that everything, all of the details are just misremembered or wrong. If we're going on the side of, if you're thinking that, this happened exactly the way if you're believing that this did happen, then you're believing that all of the details are wrong, right? Or the night was different, but that's what happens then, right? When you get proven wrong in one area, then you might look for another way and say, oh, damn, it wasn't the night of the VMAs, it was the day before, or it was the day after, or whatever, because none of this stuff is lining up.
I went and looked everywhere for this photo and I couldn't find it. I'm not saying this person is lying, but this is 24 years ago. It could be labeled and tagged something completely different. So if you guys could find that photo, please let me know. Send it to me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You got to remember, this is so long ago that that photo might be tagged under something completely different. So this comment is the only comment besides Jane Doe's statement who places Jay-Z and Diddy in the same building. The references I've shown places them at two very different locations with zero pictures showing them together. And as far as these two pictures going around the internet, you can't be certain it's in the same exact place. One pic could have been taken at Twirl and the other could have been taken at Lotus. So where was Beyonce on the night of the VMAs?
I mean, you could clearly look at this and just say, is this Lotus? I mean, you could clearly is this anywhere in Lotus? Unless this is Lotus over here. You know what I'm saying? I guess you can't say if this is Lotus. But I guess then you could just go around and ask, yo, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Let's find out who these people are and see where they were.
At Twirl, and the other could have been taken at Lotus. So where was Beyonce on the night of the VMAs? She was with Destiny's Child at Moomba, attending a high-profile party hosted by Tommy Mottola. Moomba, a well-known restaurant, was the spot for exclusive invite events. Her mother, Tina, was also present with her in the group, keeping an eye on them. Even though they were in their early 20s, she was doing exactly what a responsible parent would do. A few websites that have pictures show the proof that all suspects were all at different locations after the VMAs. I'm gonna leave y'all the direct links to these images in the description for you to see for yourselves, because these references, these pictures places Jay-Z, Diddy, Beyonce, and Aaliyah at 3 different locations at the same time, debunking the social media conspiracies surrounding Beyonce and Aaliyah. And it also goes against Jane Doe's statement of Jay-Z and Diddy leaving together before the limo came back to pick her up. There was no house. These were nightclubs. Right. Jay-Z and Diddy could have later been at the same location eventually.
I was just gonna say that. It doesn't mean that they didn't get up. They didn't meet at some point throughout the night.
However, there's no picture evidence, and with the commenter stating that they were never seen around each other is exactly what all the pictures implies. They would have definitely snapped a picture of
together.
Jay-Z and Diddy talking. Whoever was taking all these pictures would have definitely snapped that picture. The claim states that the victim accepted a drink from a waiter, which is a critical detail because the lawyer alleges that Jay-Z laced her drink, but the filed claim specifically says she took the drink from a waiter who was walking around serving them.
Right, so how would Jay-Z lace? That's what I'm saying, bro. When you have to think that Jay-Z's lawyers looked at this and said, yo, this is all over the place. How did she get a drink from me and I laced it and she got it from a waiter? Did I lace all of the drinks and she just happened to take the right one or what? Or like, man, that's crazy work.
This detail remains consistent in both the original and updated versions of the claim regarding the drinks. A few days after all this drama transpired, Jay-Z was seen out with his family for the premiere of Mufasa. His daughter Blue Ivy and wife Beyonce are both in the movie, with Blue Ivy debuting as Kiara, Simba's daughter. I seen a lot of weirdos saying how they should have stayed at home, how they shouldn't even have.
Bro, that's Blue Ivy? Bro, I remember her being like a baby. I feel like I haven't seen no pictures of her recently. Also, some of the news that came out, Roger Goodell came out and said that they're continuing that the NFL is continuing their relationship with Jay-Z. And the halftime show on Christmas has been extended to include Beyonce. So I know a lot of people were thinking about what are they gonna do now that this is going on? They gotta live their lives, bro. If they just go into hiding and stop going outside, then it makes him look guilty.
went or how this is a PR stunt. Man, I wouldn't give a fuck what people had to say about me or what they thought of me. I'ma show up for my kids regardless. That's my child, my firstborn's debut movie. You think I'm not gonna show up and represent her? Come on now. The NFL also has released a statement since then stating that they do not plan on splitting their partnership with Jay-Z, which I think is good. That's great, because I'm tired of people destroying careers before proven guilty. Y'all don't even wait for the court dates anymore. Y'all just say he's guilty before they even say he's guilty. This entire situation is deeply
and he
unfortunate.
hasn't stepped away
if
from
it
Roc
turns
Nation.
out that Jay-Z is innocent, which the evidence I've presented seems to support, it's troubling that public opinion now holds so much power over determining someone's guilt, more so than evidence. The way y'all stay labeled.
It really does, because what ends up happening is there's so much money tied up in different business dealings. No one can afford, or no one wants to stand to lose money. So, and that's what happens when these places start pulling their dollars from you. You look more and more and more and more guilty. That's why I said he hasn't stepped away from Roc Nation in the same way that Diddy stepped away from Revolt, like quick. Like, let me just get up out of that. So the court of public opinion is definitely it definitely sways decisions a lot.
Labeling anyone you don't vibe with as demonic or corrupted is wild. The obsession with turning everyone into PDFs. Meanwhile, people like Tony Busby are out here securing the bag because they know public perception is dummy ass gullible. The media eats this shit up and they use it to cancel people with zero receipts to back it. Now, before y'all Drake fans come in here and say, yeah, see, we told you, no, this is different. Let me tell you why it's different. I'm gonna say it real quick.
They said that
this
to
is
me
not
too.
a Drake video.
They like, yo, if this was somebody came in here, if this was Drake, y'all would be all on his head. And I'm like, bro, there's a difference with Drake on stage with a 17-year-old girl kissing her, talking about how her, chest, how he loves how that feels on his body. I'm like, what?
Different because we seen Drake lip lock.
Hey, keep cooking, delete it. Hey, keep cooking, delete it.
Locking and groping a 17-year-old girl. She stated, I'm 17,
and he
still
proceeded
went to be disgusting on a video that we seen. Not a picture where you can misconstrue and add on things that really didn't happen or transpire. It wasn't a picture, it was a video. And you have a whole nother video with Millie Bobby Brown stating that she was a teenager when this 30-year-old was texting her he missed her and talked about boys with her. Y'all don't have video evidence of Jay-Z doing any of this. Y'all go off of he say, she say. Y'all go off of pictures of Aaliyah, who is already of age. The same body language that Aaliyah was doing with Diddy and Jay-Z, she did with Genuine, she did with DMX, Timberland. I could legit pull up a million pictures of Aaliyah doing the same pose with a whole bunch of other artists, hugging and leaning on them the same way she did in those pictures with Jay-Z. She did with other men the same age. I just feel like it's revealing who was really a part of that era and who really remembers that era. You would know that's just who Aaliyah was. She hugged everybody. And she was of age in all these photos. You guys just don't like that she was a part of their friend group. She was. That was her friend group. That was their little squad. Jay-Z says this himself in the I Miss You track after she passed away, how she was a part of their team.
We used to party hot. We used to be in the Hamptons, party a lot. We was the Breakfast Club. You was the part of the rock.
She's seen with them everywhere. That's why she's in a dozen pictures with these guys. Y'all just don't like that. Have y'all ever thought that maybe it's not literally everybody? Like, be for real. Have you guys ever thought about that? That is, it can't be everybody. Y'all out here acting like everyone's guilty.
Yo, Denzel Washington is the Illuminati. Jay-Z. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that listen, because I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart. I don't think it's everybody, bro. Everybody who's rich or who's amassed some sort of fame or done something for themselves hasn't all converted over to the other side, bro. Like, it can't be. Shout out Will Gomez, man. Will Gomez, I appreciate you.
Guilty. Y'all some Oprah Winfrey's just throwing guilties to everybody. Make it make sense. I mean, everything I just showed is public information. It's all Googleable, if that's even a word. With all that, and also Jay-Z asking for it to go to a criminal case instead of a civil suit, which is basically only for money instead of incarceration. For this lawsuit to be filed twice with changes, with the times not adding up, and everyone involved were at separate locations at one point. Is this a money grab and an old-fashioned finesse, or did it really happen? I'll let y'all decide. Y'all ain't about to get me caught up.
Hey, keep cooking, bro. Delete it. That was probably one of Deleted's best videos, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's probably one of his best videos. The thing about it is, man, it's got it. If you're the plaintiff, right? You got a couple things you got a lot working against you. You got your lawyer, your lawyer who has a reputation, to say the least, allegedly. Then you have your story not really adding up. And if it added up, I think people would just be like, yo, people are waiting to cancel Jay-Z, bro. They waited in the wings to cancel him. And I'm not some Jay-Z truther either, but it just it has to be, if you're gonna condemn somebody with that kind of accusation, it's gotta be solid. It's gotta be bulletproof. And even with this, Deleted, I'm still gonna wait for all of the information to come out so we can, make our decision then. But I will say, for the time being, it looks a little iffy. Shout out to everybody for pulling up today, man. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all go sub up to Deleted, man. If you guys are watching this video and you haven't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. That's my commentary on this. I feel like we agreed on a lot of things, but he did definitely he kind of painted the picture a little bit better for me to kind of look at it. So I appreciate Deleted for that, man. Listen, I will see you guys next week, all right? You guys have a great weekend. Like I said, if you haven't subbed up, hit that sub button. We close to 30K, man. 21K is on the way, close to 30K. Make sure you guys hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure y'all turn on the notification bell so you guys know when I go live. You can always hop in my free Discord. I always ping there too, man. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.